We're ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Todd, we are going to start your interview.
Okay.
First thing you're going to do, look directly into the camera. You're going to say your first and last name and spell it for me.
First name, Todd McDonald, TODD-McDonald.
Perfect. That makes sure I spell your name right on the show. Okay, second thing is never look at that camera again. Okay? Always looking at me.
Got it.
And again, when I ask the question, you want to repeat the question in your answer.
Okay.
So an example would be, what is your name?
My name is Todd McDonald.
You're a champion. And I will ask you, I'll try not to, well, that's a lie. I'm going to ask you all the same questions. I'll repeat the same questions a lot.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that I didn't like your answer. It doesn't mean that you have to answer it exactly the same again. It is just the thing I do. Don't mind it. Just roll with it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start out pretty standard. We'll talk about where you were a year ago, okay?
Okay.
So we're ready, guys? Mm-hmm. So, Todd, last Christmas, what was significant about last Christmas for you?
Last Christmas was significant to me just because I was in the hospital at Northwestern and going through everything with I have Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I told the doctors I have to be out before Christmas, and I was in the hospital for 7 days, and I'm like, I have to be out, and luckily I was out the day before Christmas, so I was thankful for that. That's the biggest thing about last Christmas, and it was pretty a quiet Christmas because it's like I couldn't do anything, I couldn't go out. Having a neutropenia, if I left the house, I'd have to have a face mask on. And that was very just stuck in the house a lot.
So you were diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. When were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed last October.
I was diagnosed with what?
Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a...
What were you diagnosed with?
I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma and stage 4.
Okay, and when were you diagnosed?
About the middle of October.
I was diagnosed middle of October.
I was diagnosed in the middle of October.
Okay, so this is a good example.
Okay.
Okay, so what I was fishing for was...
like an exact date?
Last October.
Okay.
I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay.
So that's all I was looking for. So
okay.
So I'll repeat it, and then you'll finally, you'll get what I'm saying.
Oh,
what I'm
I see.
for. So take your time. If you get frustrated, it's okay, because I know I'm making you frustrated.
Okay. No,
it's all part of my charm. Okay, so let's start with last October.
Last October, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
And what is Hodgkin's lymphoma?
Hodgkin's lymphoma is a type of a blood cancer.
A blood cancer? Explain a little more to me.
It's a type of a cancer that is found in your lymph nodes, and it's primarily in the blood, and it's very rare, and it's the doctors say it's the most treatable type of a cancer that I had to go through. I mean, if I had to have cancer, that was one of the better ones because the treatment was actually pretty well, they said.
How did it feel hearing that, though? If that's a better one to have?
It was still I was very shocked at first, and I was like, I'm a fighter. I wanted to fight through it. And in the meantime, I'm like, holy crap, I have cancer at age 35. What is happening here?
And were you with anyone when you were diagnosed?
No, the doctor called on the telephone and told me.
Wait, so what made you go in?
What made me go?
Sorry. I'll also, frustrating part, I'll also stop you if there's too much noise going on.
Okay.
And if it's not me, it'll be Lance.
Okay.
Stop!
Okay.
Okay, so what made you go in? How were you diagnosed?
I was having really, really bad night sweats at the beginning of October. I mean, so bad night sweats, I would wake up drenched in sweat. My bedding would have to get changed, washed every day. I went to my family doctor. I'm like, what is happening here? Because it's not right. And so he sent me in for a CT scan. And that came back with some abnormal growths in the abdomen. So then they sent me in for several more tests after that.
And how many tests do you think you went in for?
Oh my goodness. Probably 4 or 5 tests just to get it diagnosed.
And what was your immediate thought after being diagnosed?
I wanted to fight it. I wanted to have a clean bill of health because I knew I could fight it. I wanted to get this over as soon as possible.
What was your initial thought when you were first diagnosed?
Holy crap, I'm scared. I'm up here in Chicago alone, just with friends, and because my family is in Northeast Indiana, I had to get through it.
What was your initial thought when you were first diagnosed?
Very scared. Very, like, kind of alone. You didn't know anybody else with it.
Because it's so rare.
It's so rare.
Okay, so you were diagnosed in October, and then what was sort of your journey starting then? Like, did you go to chemo right away? Like, sort of what happened after you were diagnosed?
Okay.
So after I was diagnosed?
After I was diagnosed, I had another biopsy. I had the spinal tap biopsy. Then after that came back showing, that's when they staged it. It was stage 4. Then after that, I started chemo about a week later. And at that point, I was still working because I wanted to work through everything I thought I could. Wrong. And I just couldn't do it. I had no energy to do anything. So that was very eye-opening for me. I just could not do anything. And
so you're diagnosed, you do your biopsies, you start chemo. Like, what was the first day of chemo like for you?
The first day of chemo, it was, they have you in the room alone. Then, like, the nurses come in, they tell you the different drugs you're going to be on. And at that point, because I did a little bit of research myself, so I kind of knew what was happening. Then it's like everything just started happening. It's just like within a week after the first chemo, the hair was lost, no eyebrows. Then you started feeling weak because you have no appetite, and it just.
I'm gonna stop you there.
Okay.
Always I felt weak.
Okay.
Because I want to hear about you.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're fine. Good.
Okay. So start over, or?
No, whenever. Just tell me, how did it feel when you first started chemo?
It was, like I was saying, when I first started diagnosed with chemo, I was very scared. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to fight through it. When I was sitting in the chair on the first day, the doctors came in, I was like, what's gonna happen? And they started putting the different drugs into me, and I remember the first drug, it was they would make your hands numb and your feet numb. And the nurse was like, oh, that's normal. But it was so weird because walking, it was just very, very unrealistic what happened. And I was very scared at that point. It was just not really crazy, but it's just kind of sad and lonely, and I knew I could get through it, though.
All right, let's stop for a moment, please.
My Coke, just kidding.
There's vodka in my Coke.
Didn't I tell you that?
You can't drink alcohol when you're on chemo, though, huh?
Oh, you cannot.
You can't do anything.
You can't do anything.
Because that's enough poison in you already.
Right. And now, if I have a cocktail or something, if one glass of wine, I'm like, it's gone.
Really? Oh, because you went so long without any of it.
I went about a year without drinking.
Wait, so how long did you do chemo for?
6 months.
Okay, so if you were to give me like a timeline, it'd be
October. I started in November, and I ended. No, let's see.
Let's start that one more time.
Yeah.
Your hand kind of went through the.
I'm not here, I promise. So if you were to do a timeline,
November, January,
I'd want to
February,
hear
March, April, May, June. Okay, June.
I'd want to hear I was diagnosed in October, started chemo in November, was in the hospital for 7 days in December just before Christmas.
Okay.
Finished out my chemo for six months, and I just had my final clean bill of health this
Okay.
November. Okay.
Got it.
Start whenever you're ready.
Okay. So I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in October, and I started treatment in November. Then I went 6 months on treatments, and right before Christmas, I was in the hospital for 6 days, and because I didn't have no energy, my immune system was shot. Then I finally ended my last treatment the second week in June, which was a huge relief. And just a couple weeks ago, in this November, I've had a year checkup. Everything came back clean, so it's very exciting for me. So it's actually a year. It's in remission. All the cancer yuckies are killed off.
Yay. So give me like one clean line of like just telling me that you got a clean bill of health. Like you are now, cancer's now officially in remission.
Just say cancer's in remission, or
Just say I had my last checkup, my year checkup in November.
Okay.
Is that too loud, Lance? Little Ruby?
It's he's pretty far over it.
Okay. She's so
crazy ass dog.
she's lovely.
She's lovely.
Sit back.
Okay.
You're not allowed to move.
I'm not allowed to move. Sorry, not allowed to move. I would. So recently, my last checkup I had 2 weeks ago in November, I had a clean bill of health. My CT scan came back showing everything is back to normal. The spleen has reduced back in size. There's no polyps or anything. So the doctor gave me a clean bill of health, and I'm like most excited about the lovely port that I've had to live with over a year. It can finally come out. I can sleep better now. So this thing's not poking me and everything else like this crazy thing is. So I'm so looking forward to that day that I can take my port out.
And what is a port?
A port is it's up in your chest here.
Whose chest?
It's up in my chest right here, and it's like two little dimples per se in your chest, and it's a mechanism where they can put the chemo drugs right into your main veins instead of having to use your veins in your arms. That way they don't kill the harsh chemicals of the chemo don't kill your arms. In this way, so when I was in the hospital, they used the port to get me other medicines and everything, but that way, so it's a lot easier for the doctors to get the chemos through the port and a lot more than having to deal with your veins.
And that stays permanently in?
It stays permanently in, it's stitched in. And even though if I didn't have to go for chemo, which is every other week, I still had to go to the hospital every week to get it flushed, to get blood work done, to get everything checked out. Because that's when you're going through the treatment, your white blood counts and your red blood counts, that's so important. Especially in the wintertime when I was going over this, I was neutropenic, and that's why I was stuck to the house a lot, because if people got sick and everything, I had to wear a mask. Because you're apt to get colds and flus in that way.
Talk to me. Oh, sorry. My tummy always growls when I do this. Sorry. It's really bad. The audio guy is always supposed to hear my stomach. I'm like, sorry. So talk to me a little bit, two things. One thing that, the second thing I want you to talk about is being stuck in the house, and sort of we'll talk about that. But before we do that, explain to me, one, how often did you go to chemo? Like,
I went to chemo every other week.
And every other week they were pumping stuff into your blood.
Pumping stuff into me. And if my blood counts were really low, I would have to get blood transfusions.
You get blood transfusion?
Yeah, because that would give you energy to... Because I live on the second floor, and sometimes I didn't have enough energy or to walk up to the second floor, and I was huffing and puffing just to get to the second floor. I didn't have enough energy to walk down the stairs, to walk up the stairs. It was a chore just to do anything, just to walk around the house without huffing and puffing and like that. I can remember the times where I couldn't walk the dog, where I just had to have. Luckily, the dog I was able to open the door for her. She would run downstairs, do her business, and run right back up. Just because I could not physically walk down the stairs and walk back up the stairs because I had no energy. Because the chemicals killed everything. They killed all the good stuff, plus were all the bad stuff at the same time. That's when you're prone to getting sick and everything else. So it's every time I went to the hospital, I always had to put the lovely face mask on so I wouldn't catch anything, and use tons of hand sanitizer and all that stuff. And if I went to the grocery store, which happened very rarely, thank goodness for friends that would always bring me food and stuff over.
I love that. That was the way you did that was perfect.
Okay.
Do you know why?
I just talked.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so I say all that, but we're going to say it again and break it up. Okay? But I like that because I feel like I connect to you when you're just talking and telling me about it, okay? So what I liked out of that, where I'm going to have you just say in its own little sort of section, is tell me about what it was like walking your dog, how you didn't have the energy to walk your dog.
When I didn't have enough energy to get off the sofa to walk the dog, it was a chore. Because living on the second floor, I'd have to walk down the stairs. I could maybe get down the stairs, but coming up the stairs was a whole nother nightmare. I would have to take a stair at a time, just one stair at another stair, and just take my time, because it might take me 5-10 minutes just to get up the stairs, just because I've had no energy, because the drugs wiped your immune system out and everything like that. So it was a huge ordeal, just having the dog there and just making sure she got walked and everything. So that's when I was able to, I just thought, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try to open the door just to see if she runs down my balcony and go outside, because there's a little bit of grass out there. And she did her business and came back up, and she got her doggy treat, and she was happy. She crawled right back on the couch with me and snuggled up next to me.
Oh, that's just so cute. And then you were talking about how it was hard for you to go, like you could go out, but not only was it exhausting, but you didn't have any
immune system, right?
Zero immune system. So tell me a little bit about that and what it was like for you if you ventured outside.
Okay. If I ever had to go shopping or something, I'd always have a friend pick me up, and we joked about like getting those little carts that I could drive around the grocery store in. And so, but I always try to push myself so I could walk myself. But it was one of those things that it was so hard just walking from the parking lot into the grocery store to getting a gallon of milk. And that's when I would just think to myself, do I really need a gallon of milk? A half a gallon of milk would do me just fine, because I can't carry a gallon of milk up the stairs. And you think to yourself, okay, what can I cook? What do I need? Just so you're not carrying 8 bags of groceries up the stairs, because I'll just do 1 bag of groceries and that's fine. And you have to have your face mask on, and just so you're not getting sick from like the public being all out there and everything. It's just...
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. So you start with, going out.
We'll wait.
Sure, Ruby. Whatever you need, Ruby. So I want you to just tell me, like, right now she's like, who's gonna play with me?
I know.
She ate that whole thing.
She did. She's a...
Okay, lay down.
Go lay down, Rue. Go to the bedroom. Go. Sit. You don't listen. You need to work on dog training classes.
Yeah, I know that look. My dog does that. She understood exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
She's like, no. So just talk to me, because what I want to kind of want clean is just, it was hard for you to get up and go.
Right.
Once you got the strength to do that, you still had to protect yourself against the outside world. So talk to me about that specifically.
She's gonna be quiet. Okay. So when I was able to get them enough strength to want to get outside to get some fresh air, I had to protect myself against the colds, the flus, and I had to wear the surgical face mask. And at that point, even going to the grocery store itself was a challenge. It's because walking up and down the aisles and figuring out what you need, what do I really need, versus what you want.
And so, I'm sorry, how often did you go out for things like that?
Maybe once every 3 weeks. Not a lot, because I'd have friends bring me food over.
That for me, again, exactly like that, but start it with...
I was only able to go out maybe once every 3 weeks, just because I didn't have enough energy. I couldn't get out. I just wanted to lay on the sofa and just lay in the bed, just because that was more comforting. I had wrapped myself up in an electric blanket because I would be so cold, because being neutropenic, it just takes all everything away, your red blood cells, white blood cells, and you're freezing all the time. So I'd wrap up in an electric blanket, just laying on the couch, laying in the bed, watching TV. And a lot of times friends would bring food over for me. And
let's hang on a second.
Keep her nails from going against the heart. Oh.
Want to try it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's pick it up.
so where are we at? Where are we picking up from?
She's so liver whatever it is. I got what you were saying there. I think you got that clean.
Okay.
So let's start with now that you're in the house.
Okay.
Why Windy City Live? Like, why was Windy City Live so important to you?
Okay. The days that I couldn't get off the sofa or anything, and the TV was my lifeline. I would watch TV.
Let's stop.
No, it's calm.
It won't take that long.
All right, let's try it. Let's just go.
If nothing else, I'll put her outside on the leash, and she won't be that bad.
And she'll be barking.
Oh, she doesn't bark. I mean, she just barks, just whines.
We're rolling.
Okay, so why was Windy City Live so important to you?
When I was stuck on the couch, I couldn't go out during the cold months. I was able to watch TV, and Windy City Live, I connected with the show. It was a fun show for me to watch, just because Val and Ryan, I love their bickering back and forth with each other. It's like, it's made me laugh when I was feeling so icky and like, I don't want to do anything. And when the show came on, it was like, it'd make me smile and would make me laugh. And seeing the different segments of it, like the entertainment and the cooking channel, the cooking aspect of it, it's something fun to watch when you're feeling so down and disgusting and nothing else is going on. So that was what I usually did every day, and it's something that happened every day, and I don't know, it was a.
I'm sorry, somebody's phone is vibrating.
Is that mine? Whose phone is that?
Is it my phone?
Oh, yeah, it might be.
Oh, okay, we can turn that off.
I was like, I don't even.
No, we can just turn it off. We can just. Oh, lovely work. I'm off today.
You're being a celebrity today.
I know.
She thinks.
Okay, we are rolling again.
Okay, so I'm back on the couch talking, right?
Yes. Why was Windy City Live so important to you? And don't forget my favorite line.
Yes. Windy City was Live important to me because I was able to lay on the sofa with the dog, and just that was what we did every day. We woke up about 6 o'clock because I didn't feel like sleeping, watched the local news, and it came on, and it's seeing the Val and Ryan bicker back and forth. They cracked me up. They would make me smile. Then it was just a fun show, and it wasn't too serious. It's common people going and connecting about it, and it's kind of what I think about it. It's like I couldn't get out, so I was able to see the show through my window to the world, I know.
Almost had that perfect.
I know.
When I was stuck inside.
Except that dog was. Can you hear the dog? Is she okay?
So far, so good.
Okay, cool. When I was stuck inside, I was able to connect to the show because it was my window to the world. I was able to see what's happening, see the movie reviews, see what's happening far as the upcoming guest, and just to see like the fashion sense what's happening, and I love the cooking segments they did, and it was just an eye-opening show, and I was able to just lay on the couch, relax, and disconnect with the show, and I loved it. It was something I did and something I treasured, and it's, thinking back on it, it was a 6 months of hell that I went through, and it's the struggle of the battle, but it was the worst time of the winter, and I was able to fight through it because I was down to 140 pounds. I didn't want to do anything, didn't want to get off the couch, and I was able to watch TV, and that was my sanctuary. It was my thing, just watching daytime TV, and just when the show come on, that's something I did. It was a ritual. Ruby and I would lay on the couch. We'd watch TV together, snuggle up under a warm blanket with a cup of tea, and that's what we did every morning.
I love it. Who is your favorite host?
I'd have to say by far my favorite host it's Val. She has the smile, her energy, her quirkiness, her outfits are fierce, and I love her shoes, but who doesn't love her shoes?
I do love her shoes. What about her hair? People talk about her hair a lot.
It always changes too, but hers kind of funky, kind of fun.
So do you not like Ryan?
I like Ryan, but he's not a Val.
What about G?
G's fun too. I love G and how the social network and everything like that.
What was one of your most memorable segments?
The most memorable segments, I would. There's a couple. I like when you guys did the reading when they read the audience.
Oh, with Teresa.
That was one. It was kind of, it was so like, oh my, I couldn't believe that was happening. She was connecting with the audience at that level. And it seemed like she just took the show over per se. And I was like, it was kind of neat to watch because I've never seen that happen before.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're almost there.
So where were we before she interrupted?
Segments.
Memorable segments.
Yeah.
What was the lady's name of it?
Teresa Caputo.
Teresa. One of my most memorable segments was when Teresa was on doing the reading. It was just so eye-opening. I loved how she was able to read the audience and connect with the young lady in the audience that lost her child. That was like very, because going through and talking with the children at the cancer center, I was hearing the little kiddies saying, I have the yuckies, I'll be fine. And hearing how she lost her child, I was very like, I was able to connect with that in a way. And it's just one of those things is just like, oh my goodness, she lost a child and I'm going through this. And oh my, it was just one of those shows is like, and she was able to connect differently with the different people. I think it was one of my most memorable shows that we had.
Give me another memorable show.
I like I think any of the cooking ones, the cooking segments where they did, I think they cooked some pasta or something. I forget what it was. I know any of the cooking shows are my favorite shows because you're not able to eat a lot, but you can look at the great food that's getting prepared in the kitchen. And it's always funny to watch Val and them go up and taste it. And to try to sample everything, and she likes to sample and listen to Ryan go back and forth and like how he didn't want to sample and everything like that. And the most recent one that I've enjoyed is the French fry, the French fry show.
Oh, the food fight, French fry food fight.
Yeah, the food that's the most recent one another one of my favorite ones.
Let's see. Okay, so what is it going to be like for you to meet Val?
To meet Val, I think it's gonna be it's gonna be rewarding, and it's gonna be. She's always so positive too. She's always has a smile on her face, and has that candy attitude and she's so cheerful all the time. And she talks about her kids and taking them to the theater, and
what is it gonna mean to you?
What's it gonna mean to me?
Meet Val.
What it's gonna mean to me to meet Val is it's going to. I don't know, it's going to be rewarding. It's going to be, I don't know, I haven't really thought about it. It's going to be,
Do you think you're going to be overwhelmed?
oh my goodness, it's going to be so exciting and overwhelming. And it's going to be like one of those, to meet the person that helped to get through this battle is going to be life changing, because she was able to, even though you watch her on the little TV and every morning, and she's the type of person that with her smile, with her great attitude to get me through it. So I think when I meet her, it's going to be one of those, thank you for doing that for me. Thank you for being so positive.
Aww. Okay, almost there. So when I met you, I didn't realize that you were very excited about helping us work on the show.
Okay.
Until you handed me the bag and your hand was shaking. So explain to me, why was your hand shaking when you handed me the bag?
Because I think the day you came in the show, you were in pink, and that's something I was able, because you were in your pink and your sneakers, and it was something I was able to identify with, because ever since I fought through this cancer ordeal, I've been doing more outreach and going to the hospitals and doing the cancer centers and sending Christmas cards out to my loved ones that taught me, and just hearing about the show that you did and how many people you touched with the breast cancer show. It's meant a lot to me, and we were able to connect and talk about my journey that I had, and you were able to talk about the journey that the other people were having. So
that's why your hand was shaking?
I don't know. That was so long ago.
I know, it was like 2 months ago. You remember I was like, why are your hands shaking? You're like, I can't believe that this stuff is going to go to Windy City Live. Like, you were just so excited.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that. Like, why was that exciting for you?
It was exciting for me just because I was able to, everything lined up for a reason. You came in to get the dishes from work. I met you were in your pink, and that's when I told you my story, my cancer story, and you're talking about meeting Val. I'm like, oh my God, that's exciting. I love Val. And it's so exciting. My hand was shaking just because I was nervous to meet her and like be one of her fans and everything about that.
But you didn't know you were going to meet her then.
No.
So why were you shaking?
Just because my hand was shaking, just because I was telling someone else my story and getting it out there. And because at that point, I really haven't shared my story with a lot of people, and it's being able to talk about it and it's being positive about it.
Well, I think that's sweet. I forgot I did. That was the day of the breast cancer awareness
Right.
show. Oh, so that wasn't too long ago. I haven't had that bowl for that long. Just so you guys know the backstory, Todd works at Pier 1. Pier 1 gave us a loan budget of $200 to decorate the set.
We went way over budget.
And it may have gone to $500, I don't know. But I came in like 5 minutes before the store was going to close. So that's like the worst thing to do for anyone. Mm-hmm. And then I came in with all these demands of, how do we do this? How do we do that? And Todd was so gracious and so helpful that he helped me pick out everything, we went through like 5 options because I couldn't decide. So
In the runners, you're like, it's too shiny, then we'll go to camera. And the camera guys won't like that. Too bright, too high.
I know, I was demanding. Was I being a diva?
Hey, you're fine. It was fun.
Anyways, so that's the backstory. So I kind of met him because I was being a jerk and just like in robot mode until he like handed me the stuff and he was shaking, and then I was like, wait, oh my God, you're a person, not a robot designed to help me find stuff for my set.
You're like, oh my God.
You're being a jerk, Jillian.
You're like,
okay.
And you're like, I have to have this done in the morning.
I was like, this is so more important than anything that's happening right now. Okay, so last question. And I've already asked you this, but I want you to give me another answer. What will it mean for you to meet Val Warner?
Okay. Meeting Val is going to mean the world to me. She has been like an inspiration. She has like watched her on TV. She's inspirational. She's funny. She's unique. And she's able to tell a story that I was able to relate to, laying on the couch, watching the show every morning. And it's just her personality is fun. It makes you want to be in a good mood. And I love her smile every day, and like being on the sofa wrapped in the blanket, didn't want to do anything. And that's how I was able to, this day is going to be okay, another day. And it's just being able to connect with someone like that. It's surreal, but it's one of those TV shows that was able to get you through it. And I'm a fighter. I know I can do it, and that was how I was able to do it, and just kept fighting every single day.
So every day, watching that show helped you feel like you can get through that day?
Yeah, because every morning, because it was a new day, and it's just like they do the hot topics and everything like that, and it's always interesting to see what's happening for the day, and just to see, kind of get your hot topics of the day, get your news per se, to be basically, that show was kind of like my window to the world, because I was stuck in my little apartment, I couldn't go out, and just connecting with the show, I was able to see some human life, and see some fun, see some laughter, see some Broadway shows that they were on, and it's just a fun little show versus watching the other dry daytime TV. Because my friends laugh at me, they're like, what do you do all day long? I was like, I watch TV every day.
Every day, all day.
Every day, every day.
What do you want to say to Val when you see her?
I want to say thank you. Thanks for getting me through it, and thanks for being so positive.
Aww. And on that note, we're done with that part.
Yay.
Yay! Now
job.
for B-roll. You did really good.
Was that good?
All right, let's get Ruby. Come on up.
Come here, Ruby. Come here.
Ruby's like, I have
Come here.
a snack.
Come here. Come here. Hi. Give me a kiss. Oh, thank you. Who's a pretty girl? Oh, thank you. Aw. Hi. Where's your toy? Hi, baby. Grr. Grr. What? No.
I know. I gave you a treatment.
Come here. What? Good girl. Let's watch some TV. Yeah, let's watch some TV. Oh, no. You're a crazy girl. You're crazy. Yes.
She's like, there's no TV on.
I know.
That's what you're telling me.
It's okay. Let's watch some TV. Let's stay done.
I'm gonna walk in front of you for a minute. Here's the TV.
Yeah, let's watch TV. Look at that. Look at girls. No, just stay here.
I'm getting great stuff, so just keep it going.
I was wondering why she was fixed.
I should train dog actors in my life.
Good girl.
Ruby, here's your motivation. A doggy treat.
Oh, you want your treat. Oh, yes, you are. Good girls.
Okay, keep great tension. I'm gonna do a slow zoom in, so you guys are just watching TV.
No, hey, stop.
See, once you announced it, that was the problem.
Hold it a little lower though. There you go. Okay. Look great.
Good. She's hot.
Mouse.
All right, ready? Go ahead. Come on, come on.
Okay, Ruby, come on. Come on. Come on.
Good girls. Good girl. What's on? That's a treat. Come on. You know a treat?
Let's do it one more time. And go ahead. And we ready to roll?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I am rolling.
Okay. Can you first look in the camera and say your
Okay.
first and last name and spell it so we have
Ryan Garcia, RyanGarcia.
Okay. So Ryan, can you first give me a little background info on 366 random acts of kindness?
Sure. So 366 Random Acts of Kindness was my New Year's resolution for 2012. My daughter was born in September of 2011, and so I was sitting there on New Year's Eve trying to think of a New Year's resolution and saw her playing around on the ground and decided I wanted to do something to make the world around her a better place and set a positive example for her. So right then and there I decided I was going to do a different act of kindness each day of 2012.
And can you tell me what some of those random acts of kindness were?
Sure. I stood on State and Randolph and gave free hugs.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
some of the.
Can you just say
yeah,
the
some-
random acts of kindness and
Yeah.
or they were just complete sentences?
Sure.
Let's hang on. All right, let's go for it. Rolling.
Okay. So some of the random acts of kindness, I stood on State and Randolph and gave free hugs to people. I took a
Sorry.
kid with. I'm trying to think of others.
Okay, sure. Let's try that one more time. Okay, we are rolling.
So some of the random acts of kindness that I did were to stand on State and Randolph and give free hugs to people. I created care packages that I gave out to homeless people during the winter. I took a boy with leukemia to the White Sox game to meet a player that he liked a lot. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of other ones that I'm completely forgetting right now. I know there's. I got the world to sing a song together on YouTube by having people submit stuff from all around different countries and stuff to sing "All You Need Is Love." I volunteered with a number of places. Like I volunteered with the Chicago Bulls for when they helped families who have family members overseas to celebrate the holidays.
Mm-hmm. How did you think of all these different acts of kindness?
So it started off, I thought of these different acts of kindness just on my own. Just made a list, found some stuff online that people had done in the past just randomly that I saw on different websites. And then as it kind of picked up steam and more people began reading, I started to get a lot of suggestions from people. And people would ask me, could you do this for this cause? Or could you do this for a family member of mine? And so that's what really got me excited to do it even more, because I actually had somebody specific that I was doing it for.
Mm-hmm. What was the reaction from the people and like your family and friends?
Well, my family and my wife for sure thought I was crazy, that I was going to be able to do a different act of kindness each day of the year. Everybody was super, super supportive. They were like, okay, yeah, we'll help out. Let us know whenever you need us to help out. We'll give you ideas. So yeah, that was the best thing. Whenever I did an act for somebody, it was warmth 100% of the time. There was never, when I was giving hugs to people, some of them were a little bit creeped out and didn't really want my hugs, but other than that, the response from people was great. Everybody was super happy to participate.
And you said you got this idea because you want to make the world a better place for your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And how old was she when you?
She was 3 months old. My daughter was
Okay.
3 months old when I started this.
Okay. And then that inspired your next project, State of Kind.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me about that?
So yeah, just a few of the different random acts that I was doing, I had gone to different states either for work or vacation. So I did acts of kindness in those states to complete the whole year. And so I decided at the end of the year, all right, I'm going to do my next plan whenever I get the opportunity to do it. I want to do an act of kindness kind of on a grander scale in each of the 50 states.
Okay. Can you say that again, but reword it and include State of Kind in, that's the name of the project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So if you can say like State of Kind, or this inspired me to create State of Kind,
Sure.
or something along those lines.
Cool. So throughout the course of doing the 366 random acts, either for work or vacation or just a getaway, I did different acts in different states like New York and Nevada. So that kind of inspired me to do State of Kind, where I would do a different act of kindness on more of a grand scale in each of the 50 states.
Okay, and can you tell me which ones you've already completed and then which ones you have currently in the works?
Sure. So far, I've just completed Indiana. I just started in November, actually, and it's kind of changed the goal and the meaning behind doing it. It's now for my son, who was just born a couple of days ago. He has 22q deletion, which is the second most common genetic disorder. So I'm now doing the State of Kind to honor him and raise awareness for 22q.
Okay, and then which ones are you planning to do next?
So the states that I'm planning to do next are Georgia. I have a family there that I really want to help out that's gone through a ton of rough times. A number of family members have been stricken by cancer or passed away. I have Louisiana planned, where I found a school that is in need of musical instruments. So I want to try and find different places to raise instruments to deliver to the school.
And how are you finding the people that are going to help in all the states?
It's a combination. I've just kind of been hitting the phones and calling different places, and I'll also just put the call out on the blog or on the Facebook page or Twitter and see.
Can you reword that one again?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Just I'm finding the different families in the state.
I'm finding the different families by my own self picking up the phone and calling around when I get an idea, or on the blog and Facebook page, I just put a call out for different needs or families or help in certain areas, and people respond.
And then when you help them, like you said, you're getting the instruments and all that, that's all coming out of your own pocket, or are you getting help outside from charities, organizations, or how is this funded?
So for all of them, I mean, I have a family and everything, so I can't fund it all myself, or else we'd be broke and my wife would beat me. No, she wouldn't actually beat me.
I'm sorry, let's start again.
Oh yeah, door slam. I don't even remember what you asked now.
Where's the...
Yeah, my wife would beat. Sorry, I won't say that you'll beat me.
So the things that you're doing for these people, are you getting outside help, or is...
Yeah, so I can't spend my own money because I have my own family, and we would go broke if I did that for all of the travel and all that type of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm trying to work out. People have been more than helpful. The first one for Indiana, I got so many donations to help out. I delivered gas cards to a family in need, and people were helping out there. And so the power of the blog and social media has just been super helpful with finding people who are more than willing to donate products or money and things like that to go towards the acts.
What has been your biggest challenge so far in doing State of Kind?
Timing has been the biggest challenge so far. I mean, obviously we have a newborn baby now, and so the timing and funding for it is the biggest thing, I would say. Just, I have the ideas for them. I think I could easily find the people I can help out, but it's going to be travel and timing. It will definitely be the biggest issue moving forward.
What do you hope people take away from your acts of kindness and State of Kind?
One, the biggest thing I want them to take away is an awareness for it.
I hope people take away.
Yeah, sure. So I hope people take away, the biggest thing I hope people take away is awareness for 22q, which my son has. But also I just want to have people...
Well, what's that?
Start again. There's just a weird power surge.
Cool.
Sorry about that.
The biggest thing I hope people take away is awareness for 22Q, which my son has, but also just how easy it is to do kindness for others and how many opportunities there are out there to do things for other people. There are so many people in need, and I know that I can't get to all of them, but I hope it somehow creates a ripple effect where you just open a door for somebody or give $1 at the checkout at the grocery store. Just there's so many opportunities to help people, and you just need to be able to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. You've talked about 22Q a lot. Can you explain to me what that is?
Sure. It's actually, and a lot of, I didn't know this until I found out that my son was going to be born with it. 22Q is the second most common genetic disorder behind Down syndrome. It affects 1 in every 2,000 to 5,000 kids. And there are 189 to 190 different possible symptoms or things that could go wrong with this disorder.
I'm sorry. You know what? We should probably do that one more time because you're
Oh, I'm clapping. Sorry. Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's my. I'll keep my hands locked.
Sit on your hands or something.
Am I describing it correctly?
Yeah, it's called 22q. It's deletion of the 22nd chromosome.
Oh, okay, cool.
If you wanted to make it.
Yeah, if I.
Okay.
And how does that affect people? Like, what is it
Yeah, so maybe give some
physically?
examples.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What do?
Okay, cool.
Because I know nothing about it. So
Yeah, no,
just in
no.
basic
So yeah,
terms, tell me what it is.
so 22q deletion. It's the deletion of part of the 22nd chromosome. It's the second most common genetic disorder behind Down syndrome. It affects 1 in every 2,000 to 5,000 newborns and people throughout the country, because more and more people are finding out that they actually do have it, that weren't diagnosed early in life. Like for instance, our son, one of the things that happens is he's going to need open heart surgery. Hopefully a few months down the road. It can cause psychiatric issues, it can cause immune issues, sight issues, vision issues. There are 189 different things that could potentially happen with this. So I just want to kind of raise awareness so more people are focused on it, so it gets more funding and more research for it.
Mm-hmm. And you said that you worked with the Dempster Family Foundation to raise this.
Yeah, so the exact same day we found out that my son was going to be born with 22q, just talking to my wife, we wanted to make it more of a positive instead of a negative. We wanted to, okay, this is scary, we just found out open heart surgery is going to be needed, we could have all kinds of issues. Let's turn this into a positive and let's try and make Cohen, my son's life, a whole lot better. So went to Google, typed in 22q, and the first thing that popped up was the Dempster Family Foundation. And so I reached out to them and I told them that I was going to be looking to do my state of kind in each of the states and hope to partner up for one of the states. Mm-hmm. I met with them and they actually wanted to partner up and kind of have 22q and Dempster Family Foundation be the overriding theme of 22q, of State of Kind, I'm sorry.
Oh, State of Kind, okay. Mm-hmm. How has this whole process from Random Acts of Kindness and State of Kind changed you and your family?
It's changed me, the Random Acts and State of Kind have changed me in the fact that, one, I've become a whole lot more patient. Two, I've definitely seen more opportunities to be kind, and I find myself, I always kind of felt I was pretty gentlemanly. My mom raised me to be that way, but I always let people on the elevator first. I'm always opening the door for people, and so I kind of have more of a keen awareness to see that there are a lot more opportunities to help people out, and so it's changed my family in the fact that as a whole we've just kind of become more kind, and that's kind of the message that we want to instill in our daughter and now our son.
Mm-hmm. Julie, do you have anything to add? Am I missing anything?
No.
Is that okay?
That's
I think that was great.
Yeah, no, really great.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Okay.
there anything that you want people? Well, I'll explain this. So you're coming on the show,
Okay.
and this is going to give more exposure for State of Kind.
Mm-hmm.
So people who are out there watching this, is there any sort of like any way that you want to encourage people to help out? You know, like whether it's help out with something like funding, or help out by being kind, or how they could pay it forward. Like, is there any sort of message that you want the masses to hear about?
Yeah, so I mean, the biggest message that I want people to take from State of Kind is to take the opportunity and take the chance when it's presented to you to be kind to somebody else, to help the person who's sitting on, I clapped. To take the opportunity to help somebody who's sitting on the side of the street. You don't necessarily have to give them anything besides a smile or a conversation. That kind of brings me back to one of the acts that I did last year. I wanted to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, and so I went during the holiday season on Michigan Avenue and posed as a homeless person to get a feeling of what they go through. And I got so many blank stares and people yanking their kids away from me. I felt super small. I raised money and then gave it to another homeless person who was there, but I realized how the power of just one person coming up to me and saying hi. I wasn't even actually homeless, and it made my entire day. So just do the small things, and eventually the big acts of kindness will take care of themselves.
One more. How has this affected you overall? I know you kind of said you've seen more ways to be kind,
Mm-hmm.
but what has been most impactful in your life by doing this?
I think I cry a lot more now since I've seen started doing the acts of kindness. I mean, a lot of the YouTube videos and stuff like that. I'm pretty much a sap for Soldier Homecoming videos, and my wife has walked in to see me crying to those before. But I like to think that I was always pretty caring, but I know that I have to do so much more, not just for strangers and random people, but even in my everyday life, and taking care of my wife and taking care of my family and my children. It just made me a more caring individual.
Nice. What do you need help with in order to help others?
Exposure. I need exposure and help and timing and travel and just.
Can you say that in a complete sentence?
Yeah, sorry. The things I need most are just the ability to travel to these different states, and the help and suggestions from people throughout the country, telling me, hey, this person needs help, or hey, this organization needs more exposure. That's really what I just need help with, is because I mean, I work a full-time job, and my company's been awesome with helping out, but I still can't do a 9-to-5 of trying to find these things, and I feel like it kind of requires that from me. So.
Mm-hmm. Love it. One last thing. Promise.
Go ahead.
What do you want from the Windy City Live viewers? Like, we are in Chicago. We're at your disposal. What do you want from us?
From the viewers?
Yeah. How can we help? What can we do?
The biggest thing for Windy City viewers, the way you can help is come to me with suggestions. Come to me with people you know throughout the country that might be willing to, and again, I don't know exactly what it will be in each state, but donate time, donate goods, product that I can then utilize to help people out in these different places. Whether it's a group of people who want to come with and build a house for somebody, I don't know, or donate goods for food for a food drive or something. That's just really what I want from people is the help and suggestions when I go to the different places.
I'm good.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Okay. Are you sure? Was it okay?
Yeah.
We are rolling.
Okay, can you first look into the camera and say your first and last name and spell it?
Lindsay Garcia, Lindsey-Garcia.
Okay. So, what was your first thought when Ryan said he was going to do 366 random acts of kindness?
My first thought when Ryan decided he was going to do 366 random acts of kindness, I was standing in the kitchen and he was on the couch and he told me, and I said, "You're absolutely crazy." I knew that he could do some of them, but I thought it would be pretty hard to keep up to do it the whole year. I was very supportive, but at the same time, I didn't see that it was going to last necessarily the whole time. So.
And he followed through with it?
Yeah, so he followed through with it. I was there to support him the whole time along with our friends and family. But he did a lot better than I thought he was going to do. I think the hardest part was definitely doing the blog, just because it was very time consuming to do the act. The act was probably the easiest and best part of the whole thing, and then just having to blog it afterwards kind of took a lot of time.
Did that influence you to do any acts of kindness? Or were you just supporting him?
I did. I think it influenced me in a way of just like being kinder in general. I'm already a pretty kind person, but I think it made me think more when I was doing, little things like letting people go in front of me at the grocery store if they only had, one item and I had 20. I didn't necessarily do my own random acts, but I think I also tried to teach my daughter more of those things too, just with her like in her play groups and things like that, getting her to try to share it. I mean, she was only 8 months old, but when it started, but no, I didn't necessarily do my own random acts.
What did you think when he came up with the idea of State of Kind?
So when he first told me about State of Kind, I was pregnant, and it was interesting because after he finished the random acts of kindness, when December 31st hit, it was kind of almost like a letdown. Like after Christmas, he was pretty upset actually. Like the next day, a couple of days after, he was kind of going through withdrawals about not doing random acts and writing a blog. I'm like, well, you can always do something else if you want to. So then he kind of came up with this this next act, the State of Kind, that he wanted to do. So I totally was, I think I felt a lot different about it. I knew he would be able to follow through with it just because I've seen him do it before. And he's just changed so much as a person that this was something I knew he really felt strongly about and wanted to do.
In what ways has he changed as a person?
He's definitely more patient. He tends to be very quick to react.
Can you
Sorry.
start and say the ways?
Oh, sorry.
Like the ways
yeah.
that I've seen him change.
The ways that I've seen him change as a person, one, he's much more patient. Just with people in general. He used to have a lot of road rage, and now he's much more relaxed. Two, he's always thinking about other people rather than himself. He was always a pretty selfless person, but I've just seen since he's done these random acts of kindness and now starting State of Kind that he really doesn't do anything for himself ever, because he's always supporting me and my daughter and now our son, and now just random strangers. So,
what has been the biggest challenge through the whole process? For you, and then what have you seen as a big challenge for him?
Are you talking about State of Kind or for both in general? Because we have only done like one.
Just both of them.
Okay.
Together, yeah.
So the question was the biggest change?
What is the biggest
hardest
challenge for you to have him doing these things? And then what has been the biggest challenge that you've seen him having to face?
I think the biggest challenge for me having him do the State of Kind and the random acts of kindness is just, I think like letting go of him a little bit, because I obviously need him for certain things, like, wanting to hang out with him and stuff. It's not like it took up all of his time, but he does work like a regular 9-to-5 job. So doing that, and then on top of just us being able to spend some time together, sometimes that's hard because he always has his mind around those things and what he wants to do. And, oh, babe, I have this new idea for this, or I have this new idea for that. So I think that's been the hardest thing, but at the same time, it's made me a better person too, because I just realized that he's being so selfless, I should be selfless too and not be so selfish with wanting him to be like home all the time. And I think the biggest challenge for him, especially with the State of Kind, is just finding the time and the money for it, because it is a bigger venture. And before it was like, most of it was local, or if we were in an area where he could do it, it wasn't like we had to pay for travel. So now I kind of made it clear to him that we have a family to raise, and now that we have a son that has special needs, we really can't be like putting out that much money for this kind of thing. But at the same time, whatever we can do to support, we want to do. So. Sorry, I'm really rambling.
That's fine.
That's good. You're doing good. Talk to us a little bit about like what you think he needs. Like this is a surprise show.
Yeah.
You know that we are planning something for him.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you think will help benefit him in his journey of kindness.
Okay.
And my suggestion, just for when you're talking, try to avoid saying
Okay, I'm sorry. I know.
And then try to look at me as much as possible. I know you're. So what does he need the most to help him perform State of Kind and this next project?
Okay, so I think what he needs the most is definitely support from just the public, as far as things that we can give to people, goods, ideas, and sorry. Like, I don't know, I just started like breathing heavy. Should I start again?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Try to avoid saying
Yeah, I know.
Okay. We can do
Oh, don't put that down.
Didn't want to stomp on your foot.
You're okay. Sorry, I just like ran upstairs and like.
We are rolling.
So I think what he needs the most for support is ideas from viewers and from the public. It's kind of hard to find like people that need help. So if we could have ideas, that would be amazing. And also, I think monetary donations, just because with the travel, that's going to add up. So it's really expensive. And if we could have, I keep saying no. Sorry. Let me start again.
Yeah, go ahead, start
I'm
over.
sorry. Now that I know I'm saying no, it's like even getting worse.
You know, actually, I think a question.
Make me cry. I'm already like super hormonal from just having a baby.
Like, just cry. No, I want to hear, like, are you proud of him?
Okay. Okay. How should I start that?
Just, I am super
You could
proud
say
of
through
him.
Okay.
this whole journey. I'm
Yeah, okay.
just really proud of him, what he's doing.
Okay.
That he,
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'd say I'm very proud of him. I think he's the most amazing person I've ever met. I knew that the day that I met him, but just for him to for the world now to see what he's accomplished. He's the most selfless person that I know. He takes care of me and my daughter and my son every day, and sorry. He's amazing, and the fact that he's can give us everything, but also at the same time wants to give back to everyone else even more is incredible. I know I couldn't do that, and the fact that he has the time and energy to not only support us but also other people is makes me really proud.
I like that answer.
Is he deserving of a surprise? To be part of our holiday surprise show?
Yeah, I feel like he does nothing for himself ever. So whenever he has time, he goes out and buys me flowers, brings me home, gifts. All of his ideas for anniversaries or anything like that are always extravagant and have very memorable ideas behind them. And he never does anything for himself. So if he has a gift card to Starbucks that he got from his aunt for Christmas, he gives it to me because he knows I like coffee. Or if he has extra time, he'll take Isla to the park. But he won't buy himself clothes. He won't go just to pay for $100 for to get a massage because his back's been hurting him lately. It's always just for us. And so I think that he needs time just to take for himself because he does so much for other people, but he never does anything for himself.
Now, one last thing, and you probably will cry. I want you to talk to Ryan in the camera and tell him how much he means to you and how proud you are of him. Tell him directly.
So into the camera, don't look at me. It's
Okay.
as if you're talking to him.
Okay, let me get myself together first.
Go ahead. If you have to redo it, redo it. Just anything that's on your mind, if you want to say to him, go ahead and say it.
Okay. Ryan, I am so proud of you. You are the most amazing person that I've ever met. And every day you surprise me and impress me and make me realize that I definitely married the person I was supposed to marry. You support me, my daughter, Isla, and now Cohen. You've been holding me together through the past week. Just dealing with everything with Cohen, and I really appreciate it because I know that you're dying inside too, but you're really holding me together. So I just want to thank you for being the rock for us and the rock for everyone else because you're always giving back not only to us but to other people. I love you. I'm sorry, I didn't want to do that. I was trying to.
No, that is beautiful. That was beautiful. I'm happy with that. That was great, Susie.
Thank you.
That was good.